Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm 𝓔𝒸𝒽. I'm a songwriter and composer, but above all, I'm an elf. And today I'm gonna tell you my top 10 favorite releases by Super Junior in 2021. Okay, so this is going to be a difficult one, a really difficult one. And let me just tell you, this is probably the third time that I try to record this video already because every time I have so much to say that I just end up making a huge mess. So I always have to delete everything and just start over and over again. So now I decided to write everything down so that I know exactly what I want to say and I can just make no mess anymore and just tell you everything that I want to say. So I worked a lot to pick the best releases, like my favorite. I went through all of them and at the end I managed to pick only 10 songs that I like. So my favorite releases of 2021. I tried to stay away from, anything that wasn't an official release. Like I only considered major comebacks like the Renaissance or Countdown or even Beautiful Night by Yesong. I just tried to take that into consideration. I didn't count OSTs, releases of old songs or covers or anything like that, because to be honest it would have been too much and this already was a difficult job to do, but I did it. So I have my top 10. Now before starting, let me just say that number one, they're not in any specific order because I wanted to go from 10 to 1, but it was too difficult. I just couldn't do it. So they're random, okay? Totally random order, no preference whatsoever. And number two, these songs are purely based on my own preference, okay? So by doing this, I'm not saying that these are the best songs and all the others suck. These are just the songs that I listen to the most and I was more drawn to during the year. Okay, so just that. Also, before beginning, remember to follow me on my social media. I am mainly active on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie, like I have an Instagram account but I just don't use it, so I invite you to follow me on Twitter if you want to, fangirl with me and have fun. I'm always active on Twitter, so follow me there. And also, I am preparing something a bit special for a future video. I still don't know when I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna be interesting and I need your opinion. So I left the Google form in the comments down below. So if you want to give me your opinion and you want to take part to my future video, then please check out the form in the link down below. It takes just 2 minutes and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. Again, I still don't know when I'm gonna make that video. I guess I want to have enough content before doing that, but yeah, I look forward to hear your opinion. But now, let's not waste any time. Happy New Year, and let's move on and let's see what my favorite picks for this year are and try to guess what they are. Position number one for me is California Love by 𝓔𝒸𝒽. It's California Love. Now this song was a surprise for me too, I'm not gonna lie, because when this first came out I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know that I was gonna like it this much. If it wasn't for the auto-tune, I really believe that this is probably one of the best songs that 𝓔𝒸𝒽 has ever composed. After it came out, I really started to wonder what it was that really struck me so much, and after digging in more further into the song, I realized that there are small things, because they're not big things, they're very small things that he did, but like my ear caught that my brain didn't. So I ended up loving these songs for reasons that I didn't even know, and I realize now what they are. I'm gonna tell you very briefly. I don't want to go into too much depth, you know, because it would be too difficult and I could be here talking about it for hours, and I have 10 songs to talk about, so I'm just not gonna go into too much detail about what it is, but just know that I think that what I really love about this song, and what really struck me the most, was the progression. This progression in particular not only is used a lot, but is used especially in old music like the 50s, ballads of the 50s, rock ballads of the 50s. And I realized that that is exactly the reason why this song not only sounds so romantic and so sensual, but also so nostalgic in a way, especially because of all the playing that he did with the progression, you know, even just the fact that he starts on the 6th. I mean, even just that, I mean, even just playing it like this, like, can you hear how romantic and beautiful it is? And it's because of this note right here. This is the 7th, the major 7th. It gives this romantic feeling to it. It goes from F, D, E. Oh, it's fantastic, it's fantastic. This is one of the reasons why 𝓔𝒸𝒽 is such a great composer, because, you know, he is able to take these small things, very little details, and use them in a way that creates such a big impact. So yeah, overall I love the sound that California Love gives. I don't really like the subject of the song, I'm not a huge fan of that, but apart from that, the feeling of the song, the vibe of the song, that R&B nostalgic feeling, I love it. Now, moving forward, to be honest, it was so difficult to pick just one song, and in fact I ended up picking two from this album in particular, but at the end I just had to go with Phantom Pain, and of course I'm talking about Yesong. Phantom Pain is definitely one of the songs that I have listened to the most from this album. I love that with this comeback, Yesong had the chance to really do what he wanted to do the way that he wanted to do. And to be honest with you, the results, I think, speak for themselves, because in my opinion, and I'm sure that you agree with me, this was probably his best comeback to date. Actually, let me know if you agree with this, because to me this was definitely his best comeback. He did a great job, and you can tell that he was doing the kind of music that he really wanted to do. I feel like he was in control a lot more this time, and you can feel it. What I love the most about this song is the sound within the music and the contrast with the message it brings in the lyrics. The song is actually a sad song, you know, because it's about an ended love, a finished love, but the music just doesn't reflect that. If anything, the music is just as happy as it may sound, and that makes it even more intriguing and even more haunting as a song. I mean, just think of the fact that the song is in the key of G major, and if you think about it, G major is probably one of the happiest keys that you can probably choose. And you know, also you go from the verse where there's that tune played in a very carefree way, you know, very happily, very joyful, almost playful, you know, that I mean, it just doesn't reflect that. And even in the chorus, like the chords, the way they're playing, this song is a happy song in its sound, but not in the lyrics, and I love that. The only slightly sadder tone is in the bridge, because it starts on that D minor, and that's probably the only time that you hear kind of a sadder tone. And it's not even like a really sad note, it's just a sour note, I would say. Yesong also did a great job in the vocals, like in the delivery of the song itself, you know, with his tone, using that very light, soft, almost whispered tone. He did a great job with, you know, it almost reminds me of someone that, like, the image that I have in my mind is of someone just singing to themselves while taking a walk in the park, or I don't know, anywhere else, while, you know, their mind is just wandering around. And I'm probably gonna be deep here, but you know, it kind of makes you think of how, despite the sadness and the sourness that you may feel inside, outside, the world still goes around and life still goes on, and you know, life is still happy at the end of the day, and you have to deal with that despite your heart being broken. Next in line is none other than B. Probably the biggest revelation of 2021. I just had to include this song for a number of different reasons, actually. First being that when this song came out, I was completely overwhelmed with surprise and emotion. I wasn't expecting 𝓔𝒸𝒽 to make his official solo debut with such, you know, a deep, intense song, and I was so surprised when he did it. But if I have to be honest, I am happy that he used his chance to debut as a soloist, to do it with something meaningful, not only to him but to anyone, essentially. B is a great song for a lot of reasons. The first one being that anyone can relate to it. And you know, I'm so happy that I didn't listen to the song with subtitles while I was making the reaction, because I tell you, as soon as I read the lyrics, I cried for hours. The song is also a great one in the music itself. The bass just totally embraces you with its warm synths and a really smart use of a number of different effects, like the main one being the reverb. The reverb is basically that effect that kind of creates that sense of echoing in the music and in the voice. I also love, you know, all the harmonies and all the responding vocals. I love the falsetto, of course, used by the king himself, that builds up in the chorus and it just elevates you, you know? The final effect of the song is in fact one of warmth, grace, almost a dreamlike sensation that makes you feel safe. But the masterpiece of this song is definitely the bridge. Baby, I don't wanna break you. The bridge just takes you by surprise and leaves you completely speechless. You know, I once read somewhere, I think it was on Twitter, someone said that B's bridge is the best bridge ever. And to be honest with you, I agree with that. And it's also very easy to explain, actually. The thing is that, you know, this song is all based on a pattern of chords, a progression of chords that always repeats itself over and over again, always the same way, you know, it doesn't change. So what it does is that establishes like a pattern in your mind, and your brain responds to that by relaxing. When the bridge comes, for the first time in the song, a new chord is introduced, and it's a chord that it hasn't been used at all throughout the song. So the chord comes with a whole bunch of new sounds that we weren't expecting, and so it creates this sense of surprise, awakening our brain and leaving us completely in awe, you know. Yes, I had to include both 𝓔𝒸𝒽's singles into the list. Next up in line is Red Muhly.
나 이 말 해야 할 것 같아 for you.
Just like for California Love, when this song first came out, I wasn't expecting to like it this much, but you know, after listening to it a couple of times, I actually found myself going back to it over and over again. And there was actually a point when I think I was listening to this song even more than B. Like Red Muley is one of those songs for which you could say a lot and nothing at the same time. But what I really love about it is how cheeky and fun it is. You could tell 𝓔𝒸𝒽 was completely in his element with this one. And I think this is the genre that suits him the most, you know, the one that really brings out the best in his voice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love his falsetto, and I think he's great at doing that. He really mastered the falsetto. But I mean, when it comes to his full voice, you know, even his rapping voice, I feel like these type of songs are the best for him. I love how much fun he had, you know, in the making of this song, and even in writing the lyrics of this song. He said that he doesn't have a poetic mind, but as I said already, I disagree. Because I think that even just in these lyrics in particular, you can tell how poetic his mind actually is. I mean, even just the image of the sun making everything red, and so hiding this way the redness of your face while you're trying to propose to the person you love. Even just that, I think, yes, it's a bit cheesy, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit cheesy, but it's also really poetic. But of course, you know, the cherry on top for this song, I think it's the video. I love that he gave us the opportunity to be part of the music video itself by sending, you know, our pictures to him, and the fact that he chose them personally. I really think it was so sweet of him. And also, you know, let me know if you were amongst the chosen ones. Let me know if your picture made it to the video, because mine didn't. Of course, I was expecting it, but it's okay. Let me know if you were the chosen one. Since we've talked a lot about solos and, you know, soloists, let's go back to the beginning of the year and let's talk about the Renaissance. I have a few picks from this one, but the first one has to be House Party. Now, I know that this song is a highly controversial one, you know, some people love it, some people hate it, they don't think that it deserved the title track place. And you know, although I agree with that, I agree that the title track should have been another song, which I'm gonna come to, don't worry. I have to say that I've been obsessed with House Party ever since it came out. The main reason why I love it so much is because I think that House Party really has all the elements that I like and that I look for in a song, especially for a dance song like this one. But I also think that this song has all the elements that represents Super Junior's sound 100%, you know, their aura as a group. And I'm talking about the brasses, the strings, the funky guitar riffs, the groovy bass lines, all the synthesizer, you know, all these things. But of course, even all the potential and all the power of their vocals. House Party is a song that makes you dance and move, while it also delivers an important message that relates to what we're living in the last couple of years, making it this modern song, very modern contemporary song. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the trap intersection of the song. The only reason why I accept it is because that's not trap. I mean, yes, the music elements are that of trap music, you know, the heavy use of the Charleston, I don't know if they call it Charleston in trap music, but to me that's Charleston, so that's how I'm gonna call it. All the synthesizer, you know, all those aspects that you usually find in trap music, but thank God the vocals are definitely not trap music. So, and B, the only reason why I accept that part is because, you know, it's so rare and so unusual to find a song that contains another song within itself. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have examples of that in music. I mean, but you mainly have example of that towards the end of the song, so like a song that reaches the end, and then when it comes to the end it changes to another song. The Beatles did that a lot. I mean, just think about songs like Hello Goodbye, for example. But when it comes to songs changing in the middle of the song, you don't really have a lot of examples. It's very rare to see it. I mean, the only example that I can think of right now is Bohemian Rhapsody, for example. So it's a rare thing to see, especially in K-pop. And here we get to the interesting part, because the next pick is Closer. I can even begin to express how obsessed I am with that song. Like, literally anything in that song is perfection to my ears, and I just cannot get tired of that song. I know that Closer is essentially a song about sex, so you know, it doesn't really have much depth to its lyrics, but what really captures me the most is how strong it is and how powerful it is in its atmosphere. Closer is sensual, but it's also chill, sensual, almost very playful in a way. Although sex is not my favorite subject for songs, as I said already, I have to say that the image it creates, like this vision of these two lovers just, you know, chilling together and playing together and just enjoying being with each other in this game that they're living, you know, it's an image that I like. I really, really do. And considering that Super Junior are now towards, you know, the older side of the spectrum, considering the average age of K-pop idols, I would say that a more mature sound and a more mature image like this one really suits them. And trust me, they delivered with this one. I love how the song starts so lightly with just a percussion underneath, which I think it was a cowbell. And that's crazy because I'm not a huge fan of the sound of the cowbell, but the way it was used in this song, for some reason it just works. And you know, their voices so soft and so whispered, almost like they're singing to your ears. It's so magical. And this first verse, you know, being so delicate, it almost looks like, you know, a whole intro. It's like the song doesn't really begin until you reach the first chorus. Even then, the atmosphere stays very light and very playful, especially with that synth playing those fills in, almost like a whistle that mimics what they're singing. The only thing that gives more substance and movements to the song is the bass line. That bass is so groovy. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. But of course, what makes the song the masterpiece that it is are the vocals. To be completely honest, as I said, like the way they whisper, almost like they're speaking to your ears, it's so sensual and still so engaging. I love it. Moving forward, let's go back to October with Countdown, because the next pick, the 7th pick actually, yes, is Have a Nice Day. Now, I'm probably gonna be very brief on this one, to be honest, because this is one of those songs that I like for no particular reasons. I mean, this song is so easy, very, very easy, but I don't know what it is about it. It just touched me in a way that very few other songs did. You know, when Dungay's teaser came out, I think that that image of him being underwater with this song as a background, it really suited this song the most. There really is no image more appropriate than this one to represent this song, you know, floating underwater, feeling completely weightless and free. This is exactly the type of feeling that Have a Nice Day gives me. I feel like this is a song that somehow sounds nostalgic to me, but not in a sad way, not in a bad way, but actually in a very pleasant, warm way. It just makes me feel like I can relax, I can feel safe, you know, I can just lay down on my bed and stop thinking about the world and everything bad going around. It's so powerful to me. Before approaching the last two songs of the list, let's go back to 𝓔𝒸𝒽 because I just had to include this one in the list. I just had to, and I know that a lot of you will probably agree with me on this one because the next pick is Lost Heart. I think there's only one way to describe this song: haunting. Just like for Have a Nice Day, this song is the example of how you don't need to make the song difficult for it to be beautiful. And judging by how famous and how popular it is within the fandom, I guess, you know, that's a fact. The music in this song is absolutely touching and emotional. The way that guitar plays, that riff, you know, in that pattern that just continues over and over again, always the same thing. It's so emotional and so beautiful. You know, this is the best way to actually make a sad song. All you have to do is simply take your 1, 2, 3 chords and just play the notes within the chord over and over again, almost like in an arpeggio. And what that does, it creates this pattern that is just emotional, and it's the best for sad songs. I mean, literally, this song is just F sharp and A, and I think there's a B minor somewhere, and maybe even E. I don't really remember all the chords, but I mean, even just that, it creates magic. Same thing happens in the chorus with that synth that plays that pattern that almost reminds you of the rain coming down, for how persistent it is underneath 𝓔𝒸𝒽's voice. I think that's absolutely poetic. I love it. And speaking of 𝓔𝒸𝒽's voice, needless to say, I love the way he performed in this song. Even just the way he sang that mi corazón, oh, with the delicate melody, you know, it's so... It gets right to my stomach. I tell you, I love it so much that I feel it inside my stomach. But of course, the best part of the song is all the crescendo that leads to the second part. And again, even in this song, we have the feeling of being thrown in a completely different songs where all the sadness leaves space to anger and desperation. And again, it's 𝓔𝒸𝒽's voice that does the job, because I don't know how it does it. I just don't know, but he delivers feelings when he sings. He acts. He just doesn't sing, he acts. He completely gets into the emotion of the song and becomes the emotion. His voice becomes the emotion. Again, another beautiful song that doesn't need much explanation is my 9th pick, which is Home. There's not a lot to be said about this song apart from the fact that it's emotional and elegant actually in its feelings. Those staccatos played by the strings together with the piano that plays a chord at the beginning of each part as an accent, that already is enough to touch your heart right as the song begins. Because you know, apart from that, the song is probably the easiest one that they've ever done, because that's literally just 3 chords. That's E minor, F, C. That's it. That's literally it. I just love how the song grows in this crescendo together with their voices, and it becomes more and more powerful, and then the chorus arrives and the strings become more fluent, more melodic, the piano becomes stronger, all the rhythmic section comes in with the guitar, you know, the bass guitar, the drums. It becomes more powerful, more energetic in general. Their voices as well, they start very softly, but then as they move on, they become more powerful with more presence, you know, more stronger, energetic as the song proceeds. And I think that this one is another great example of how Dini actually have a lot of talent and know how to use their talent, especially when they're together, you know, mixing and matching all their stronger points. I mean, we get Onyok's rap and Donghae's beautiful mixed voice. Fantastic. And here we are to the last pick that I was just saving for last. I had to save the best one for last because, of course, my 10th pick is Burn the Floor. Okay, I feel like there's not a lot to be said about this song because, I mean, everyone loves it, everyone is obsessed with it, everyone knows how great and how glorious this song is, but also because a lot of other people have talked about this song. I mean, a very famous reaction channel came out with a reaction to Burn the Floor, and they're all musicians, so they probably digged in. I still haven't watched it, but they probably digged in into the song very carefully, so you can just go and look at their video. But you know, for me, I feel like Burn the Floor is one of those songs that you only get to hear once in a long while in any genre, but especially in K-pop. I feel like this song completely resets the standard for Super Junior in terms of what they can deliver as a group, as singers, as professionals, other than idols. The song is regal, is noble, elegant, almost haunting at times, but still engaging and modern. But what I really want to focus on is their vocals in this song, because I feel like they did a great job. Because, you know, I think that for Burn the Floor, the most difficult part is the interpretation of the song itself in the singing, because you know, the nature of the song itself, the bass, the instrumental bass, that it's so strong, so powerful, that alone can lead to a result that it's either too much or too little when it comes to vocals. Super Junior are pop singers, and by being pop singers, they are used to using their voices in a very specific way, in a very peculiar way. And being in the industry for so long, they also have an established sound that is known by the fans and is known by anyone who listens to them and knows them. That's why when Burn the Floor came out, I think they did an impressive job at really interpreting the song at the best of their abilities, adapting their voices and using them in a way that sounds so different from what we're used to. It's no surprise that this song basically conquered anyone and became the huge success that it is, because to be honest, I think that this is one of the best releases that they have ever made as a group. So yeah, these were my top 10 releases by Super Junior in 2021. Oh my god, it was so difficult to pick just these 10, but oh, I did it, and I am happy that I managed to make this video. It's gonna be a long one, so I'm gonna have to edit a lot out of this video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and please let me know down in the comments below what your top 10 is, what your favorite releases, even if you don't have a top 10, even just your top 5 or your favorite song that came out in 2021 by Super Junior. I would love to know. I wish you the happiest 2022 that you can get. Hopefully this year is gonna be a good one. I wish you're safe, I wish you're happy, I wish that all your dreams come true. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel if you want. And hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one.